Hi, thanks for joining us today. This is day 2 of coping with the holidays, and I'm back now in DC, still wearing my Hawaiian shells from yesterday. So I did bring my vacation mindset with me, so
Just
I hope
waves
you
in
all...
the background.
Yeah, waves and shells. And today I'm joined by Allie Cherry, who has been bringing together mental health and comedy. And I thought that I would bring Allie on today so that she can share a little bit about making human a little bit easier and a lot funnier. So if you're there and you want some, you have some, things that you're coping with the holidays and you want some ideas about how to deal with them, please let us know. Hey Oliver, good to see you. Happy Friday. So one of the things Allie and I were talking about before we came on today was about how important it is in mental health and for our mental health to be able to know what we're feeling. Because being able to know what we are feeling helps us know what our needs are so that we can get those needs met in the world and through our relationships. But Allie and I were talking about how just being able to know what you're feeling and being able to feel your feelings is one of the most difficult things, and it can take people years to be able to do. And so she was able to share how comedy has kind of helped her to circumvent that challenge. So can you share?
Yeah. I have spent a decade trying to learn my feelings, so if you're having trouble with them, no shame. It takes a while. Identifying them, naming them. One of the things that's helped me as a comedian, helped me circumvent the idea of how I'm feeling, is actually asking the question of what's this really about? And it's an interesting way to get around some of the barriers to feeling. I've found that it's almost like it becomes a cognitive reframing exercise, really, of saying like, what's this really about? And then also when I'm with my family or any difficult situation, of just trying to see what's funny in it and understand what's actually where the humor is. And a lot of times what can be really difficult, like listening to someone talk about the same story 17 times, or having a really irritating tickle in someone's throat that you can't even believe that they sound like that. Whatever it is, it can actually be a really healing experience just to try to find out what's funny in the moment.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And I think that question about what's really funny in the moment gives us a way to access something it's more accessible to ask that question as opposed to what am I feeling right now. And so this idea of like what's really funny in the moment, and you also said that there's these other things that you can also ask yourself that can help you, that are easier than what am I feeling right now.
Yeah, so there's kind of two little shortcuts I use. One shortcut that's not especially a comedic shortcut, but is a super helpful shortcut, which is what are you really feeling, or what's really going on, is probably fear. Like most of the time there's something fear about it, so it's like a little shortcut. But the other is there's this paradigm in stand-up comedy that some people use, that every joke is based on something being hard, scary, stupid, or weird. And so I found that using this as a paradigm, so you could talk about like this conversation, or being with my family, or going home for the holidays, or you could take any topic, literally any topic, and just say like what's hard, weird, stupid, or scary about it. And the joke actually writes itself from there. But the premise can be a cognitive reframing exercise of just like naming what is. And then that, actually just naming it, can become the source of a conversation that is an opportunity to be honest and open up. And being honest and opening up, sharing what is true, is literally the essence of what good comedy is just being honest. And it becomes a point to connect and express with your family. So you could say, what's really hard about going home to be with the family, or what's really hard about being around here, is I feel like I'm a 37-year-old woman who acts like I'm 12. I don't know why I revert to my childhood like sense of self when I'm around my family. Or we could go on and on. But anyway, you get the kind of point, using this hard, weird, stupid, or scary paradigm. And I'm happy to share more if people actually want to like write jokes about it. But at least as a framework to do some like cognitive reframing around what's actually happening.
Yeah, and I love these categories of hard, weird, stupid, or scary, because these kind of get at the things that are the most difficult to talk about, or the most difficult to acknowledge, or the most difficult to bring into a space. And as Ali was saying, is that these things, they're hard because they're vulnerable sometimes. But when we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable and share that vulnerability, it's actually the bridge to connection, because when we're sharing what this is really about, what's really true, and some of these things that are really hard to share, we're also getting at the things that are the most important and getting at the root of like, what is this really about, which allows us to connect on a deeper level. And it allows us to bring forth the parts of ourselves that are the deepest, most core, most essential parts of ourselves that most of us don't even know how to find in the first place. But asking that question and then sharing it in these frames often gives us a way to not just be vulnerable, but connect with other people, which is the true essence of intimacy, which is what most people are actually desiring, especially during the holidays, is that we, there's this holiday cheer and everybody's joyful and happy. And then sometimes we're individually not having that experience. That's an example of a cue that's letting us know about our desire for connection. And this is one of the pathways to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining us. So, can we say a little bit more about? I was talking about connection, and I was saying that what actually people want deeply is to be able to connect. But we want to connect, but we're so afraid to be vulnerable. We're so afraid to share the hard, the weird, the stupid, and the scary. But it's counterintuitive, but actually sharing those things, the hard, weird, stupid, and scary, even though it feels vulnerable, it will actually allow you to connect. And the reason that is because other people are also feeling that too. It's just that when we're in this experience where we're too afraid or we're too ashamed or too embarrassed to share this part of ourselves, we're living in this false experience or this false reality that what's going on within us we're alone with, that nobody else understands or gets.
Yeah, I mean, the essence of a good joke is that there's something universal in it that everybody can relate to. So I was actually listening to a comedian talk earlier today about doing a joke about her kids, and she's like, the joke can't really be about the kids, the joke should be about me. And it's about like me about the kids. And then we can all relate to that, even if you're not a parent or don't have a kid that you even have experience with. So the idea of this trying to find what the universal is actually a really helpful technique, both for finding what's funny in a situation, but it's also helpful to find connecting with your family. So I find that that paradigm of just sort of like finding what's really universal here, and again going back to like hard, weird, stupid, or scary, or just appreciating that we're all experiencing those things all the time. And then if all of this fails, you can go on YouTube, because basically all of the solutions to all of life's problems are like exercise, sleep, drink some water, and like YouTube. But you can go on YouTube, you can find some videos of some awesome comedians. There are wealth, specifically Conan posts a million great ones. And being able to take a comedy break and actually just watch them on your phone or watch them on the TV, just plug a couple people in, you can use that as a moment to connect with your family on something that's funny, and you can all find funny, or even just discuss why you didn't find it funny. But it's a point of human connection as well.
Yeah. Well, those are some really great tips. Ali, thank you so much for joining us today. And for all of you out there that want to connect with Ali, we'll put her info. She's on Instagram. We'll put it in the comments. Anything more you want to say about how people can connect with you?
No, happy to help if anybody wants to get into stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we've really been talking together about how I think that comedy is a really healthy transition from like being in therapy, like, because therapy is like you're in the room with one therapist and you kind of like, oh, here's all my dirty, dark secrets that I don't ever want to share with anyone, and I'm just going to tell you in confidence. But the more that you can start sharing that stuff that you think you can only tell your therapist, and like have the world be your therapist, and like make humor of it and make life, I like this, make human being a little easier and a lot funnier. Like, this is really the way that we can start to heal more and start to heal together. So this is my tip for coping, or tip of coping. This is day 2. I hope that you all join me next time on day 3. And please inbox me, message me about things that you want to hear about how to cope with. And yes, timing. Michelle just commented about how important timing is in comedy.
It's true.
Yeah, so let's definitely take that into consideration as we're sitting around the table this holiday season. So you guys enjoy your holiday time, spread the joy, the cheer, and keep connecting. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.